that's running through our veins. Let's be renegades, good for nothing, runaways. That girl got her own bag.
Joelle Onukwubiri was born and raised in Maryland, where she obtained her Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, double majoring in media and communications and American studies, as well as minoring in history. Currently, Joelle is a publicist at Persona PR. As a public relations professional with over 5 years of experience, Joelle has built an impressive set of skills within the communications industry. Specializing in media relations, strategic planning, and crisis management, she has effectively serviced a diverse set of clients that operate in the entertainment, nonprofit, lifestyle, technology, and government industry, among many others, helping to bring to life story from a vast assortment of backgrounds. Welcome to the Badass Babes of Entertainment, Joelle.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are excited to have you on. We've only had one other PR person, but what they did sounded very different from what you do because you have so much in your background as far as entertainment, nonprofit, lifestyle, technology, government. Usually people that we find are just solely actors. So I was like very interested in having you on. So yeah, we just want to know, like, how did you even get into the world of PR?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I have so much like background. It's probably too much. It really started through college. Actually, it was the age-old story of like I had a professor who was like, it was called Introduction to Public Relations. It was as simple as that, and I thought like this is kind of interesting. Like I kind of I'm really liking this sort of industry or like what's going on right now. And I mean, he was a cool person too in general, but like the more I learned in class, the more I was like, I'm connecting with this. And it was kind of just the launching point from there. I was like, okay, I need to learn more, like what's going on. And this was back when I went to college at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. And so I was like trying to do my research, trying to see if there's any PR firms that were nearby. There was like a couple, like one or two. I mean, most of them were in the Baltimore area. It was they're like really big around nonprofits. So a lot of like the firms were nonprofit geared, or some of them were strictly like marketing. So there was very few that was like strictly PR, and the ones that were like more geared towards nonprofits. But the one I found was like one of maybe like 3 PR firms. And I just started interning there. And then that was the launching point 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. Oh gosh. Yeah. Something like that.
So then I'm guessing you moving to California was getting the job with Persona.
Yes. So it's been kind of a journey. I mean, like back all the way back. So yeah, I started with the firm that they did nonprofit. They worked with clients that were in, hotels and restaurants. They did, some of them were in like finance business. Some of them was like, one was like a company that actually ran so in Baltimore, there's oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name. But it's like the horse like race. I forgot the name of it. Oh my gosh. But they
Kentucky
actually
Derby?
like it's like the Derby, but I forgot the name. But
Is it out here? Is it the Breeders' Cup?
No. It's oh my God, it's like leaving my mind right now because I have so much information in my head. But it's like really famous. I have so much information in my head, but it's like really famous in Baltimore. And they like actually like ran like the company that like they owned it. So horse racing industry. I don't know, I was all over the place. And then from there, I kind of I went to sort of technology in the cybersecurity area because where I'm from, we call it DMV. So it's DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So it's kind of like coexist. So where I lived was I lived probably 45 minutes from Virginia and maybe 20 minutes from DC. So I kind of just found this opportunity to work for another technology cybersecurity firm that's in Virginia. And so that's kind of how I fell into that. And I guess you could say throughout all that experience like that I've had, I have really enjoyed entertainment. Like that's always been deeply rooted in me. And I didn't really know it. I mean, I've always kind of sort of suspected that, like when I was younger, like I look at my life when I was young and I was like, you should have known a long time ago you were really interested in the entertainment industry, but it just doesn't click. So it kind of took like steps to steps to sort of land right here. But yeah, I'd been traveling from DC, Maryland, Virginia, then eventually went to California to do entertainment.
Well, we're glad you're here. So
Yes,
welcome.
definitely.
Welcome to Burbank.
Welcome to Burbank. Exactly. We're
Thank you.
neighbors.
I love it. I really do like it here. It's definitely, it's different for sure, being from, the East Coast, West Coast, but I really do like it out here. I mean, for sure, like the people are a lot friendlier out here.
That's great.
Than where I'm from. Cause like they'll like just randomly speak to me and I'm like, wow, okay.
Hi.
I say that. I say people in LA are like the nicest people I've met. People are like, what? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know who you're running into.
Yeah. I mean, like it's great though. I mean, I really feel like we should be a lot nicer, but I'm just not used to that.
Yeah.
It's cool. So yeah.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about PR?
That we do marketing. That's like the hugest, like biggest thing that I get. Because when I used to work in the cybersecurity and technology industry, one of my clients was Cisco Systems, the telecommunications company. And a lot of the time, I mean, I would say they were a pretty good client, but sometimes they would not understand that like it's a lot of what they're asking for is sort of marketing related, not really PR related. Not specifically them, but I just noticed like sometimes the ask would be like, we can't control this because that falls under marketing. And
Could
some of my
you
other
give us
clients-
an example? Because I'm
Yeah.
kind of curious. Because I feel like PR is one of those things like everyone knows the term, but then they're like, but wait, what do you actually do?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a lot of the biggest questions. So with marketing, it's like product placement, sort of in a way. So like if, I'm trying to think of like a past. So a former client at my former job, not Cisco, but a former client at my past job, they were trying to get more like sales for the product they had come up with. It was technology focused, and they didn't understand sort of like what they were asking us to do was they wanted more sales driven to their website to buy their product. And we were like, we can't, like, that's marketing. We're like, that's marketing and sales. So like, they were not understanding why we were securing them. Like we were getting them interview opportunities with like Forbes or like Washington Post, like, those great outlets, but like, they didn't understand why those outlets were like, not like sales wasn't translating to their product. And we were like, that falls under like marketing. Like if you want your product to be, in front of the general audience, that's marketing. That's not what we deal with. So like they wanted those clicks, they wanted those, those consumer clicks or whatever. And we're like, that's not what we do. We do earned media, which is we get those opportunities with those outlets that are in television, that are in print, that are in radio, whatever. But we don't actually, drive an audience to click on your product to purchase. So that's sort of like sales marketing, but marketing is exactly what I said. It's like product. It's in promoting the actual like product or brand or whatever, through graphics, through, like I said, clicks, through, paper, whatever, through Google searches. That's all marketing. That's what they deal with. But with PR, there's earned media and paid media. And really what we do is earned media. So, but exactly what I said, like it's getting in front of those outlets, those reporters, and actually having them speak to the person that built that product, not that product itself, but the person who's that CEO or that person that created that product, that engineer, or that researcher, or something like that. That's earned media. That's PR.
So if you're an actor and your persona is representing them and you're doing earned media, then you would just call those outlets and say, hey, I want to get my actor in front of you, or hey, can you publish an article? Is that right?
Yeah. We build those relationships with those reporters, with that media. So we a lot of times reporters are always looking for a story. They're always wanting to know about what's going on, about whether it be an actor, actress, or somebody else or whatever. So what we do is we reach out to them and we let them know, hey, we have a client. This actor is appearing, he or she or they are appearing in a new movie coming out in 2 months. Sometimes release date to be announced, but we'll let them know, sort of get them on their radar, that they have an upcoming project coming out. So do you want to speak to them about the project? You can also speak to them about their past project. But we try to stay within like the current project. But of course, it's just primarily getting them on the radar so they know that this person's here, can talk about what is going on in their life, and making sure that they see us and know that if, like, let's say something breaks in, a current film is breaking, and they see that we represent that client, they can come to us and set up an interview or something like that.
So it sounds like you already have those existing, or you're the one that's building the relationship with the outlets. And
Yeah.
so that's why someone would want to hire you, so that they don't have to, because you've already built that. At what point does someone want to hire PR?
I personally believe when their PR is something, I believe, and this might be controversial, but I believe PR is a luxury. It's not really like something that's super, super necessary. Which, oh my God, my boss would probably be like, wow. But it is, in theory, it is a luxury. So I would say at a point in your life where, or whatever you like, your project or news that you're really, really excited about, that you can see it affecting, someone in the near future, or something that has a monumental impact, I would say reach out for a PR, because that is when we can of course like amplify your news and your story. But I really believe that anybody that has sort of any really big, obviously on the entertainment side, really big project coming out, that they want news about, they want, into the news stories or something like that, they can reach out for PR. But, or if they have, on the other side, on the consumer side, if they have a big project coming or product coming out, that's when you reach out for PR. But again, like I said, it is a luxury. So only do it when you feel like it's the right time, the right commitment, and you really truly believed in your product, your service, or your news, or your project.
And then
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I don't know how much you can say to like, how much do you get paid? Because I know a lot of actors like, oh, this PR, team wants $10,000 a month and I can't afford that. Or some people work on a retainer. Or there's just, every company is different, but as like an overall arcing, what's the standard for the industry, the entertainment industry?
I would say, it really depends on the agency. We're all kind of different. So I can't really give you the exact number because like we're all different. And that's even regardless of entertainment, it's on in every agency. Like I've been on companies that have retainers upwards of like 10,000 or as low as like 2,000. Like it really just fluctuates. Like it's up and down. It really depends on the agency and sort of their roster. It depends on how long their longevity. It depends on their experience. So it's kind of fluctuates, I guess you could say. It depends on whatever agency. But I think in entertainment, it's the same way. It's just, like I said, it really depends on the agency, but for entertainment specifically, I'd probably say like the retainers are based off like month by month, because I know like some agencies do like 6-month campaigns or 12-month campaigns or 3-month campaigns. So it really depends on that sort of like that campaign or primarily that campaign sort of retainer. That's where it's based off of for entertainment.
So you said that the entertainment industry is your favorite client to work with. Is that right?
Yes. It's definitely, out of all the industries I've been in, it's definitely my favorite.
There are a lot.
Yes,
Is there
a lot.
anyone in particular? Like, do you prefer like actresses versus actors, or influencers or producers, or is there someone in that realm of like you have a favorite?
I definitely like working with actors and actresses. I just think they're so interesting. There's no other way around it. But yeah, I definitely like working with actors and actresses. I've worked with authors before on the entertainment side, but it's a lot more interesting and a lot more fun with actors and actresses because I mean, and it can be the same with influencers and authors and all that kind of stuff, but in general, the entertainment industry is a lot more interesting because I remember like when I used to work in the tech sphere, like one of my clients, I remember I had a reporter who wanted me to send over a headshot of my client. And my client was like, well, I can send you a selfie. And it just made me laugh because I was like, that is not what they're asking for. But
That's
with
funny.
actors and actresses, they already have that ready, you know? So like if I say I need a headshot, they're like, yeah, I got it. Like right here, like a professional airbrush photo or whatever headshot. Like I don't have to think twice or I don't have to explain
What a headshot is.
what a headshot is,
Yeah.
right? I will never forget that. That was just, she sent me a selfie. I was like,
You're like, thanks.
Like, great.
but yeah, it's with them. It's definitely, it's fun. It's really interesting. It's always changing. And also to hear about their projects too, that they have like, and their, you know, their story behind why they took a role or something like that is always interesting. So it's fun. I like it. I really do enjoy working with them.
And what's your best advice for someone who does want to get into your field?
Well, you first gotta really love it.
Yes.
Because it is, I will say it's a tough industry to be in specifically in PR in general, because it's very fast paced. There's a lot of like pressure, of course, because we do personal publicity, you know, we directly work with that client. So we maintain their heavy schedule. Like literally today today and tomorrow, I have like a stacked day of interviews, back-to-back interviews, client interviews. So, you know, it's just, you got to really love it because it's definitely an industry that is tough and but it's rewarding, I think, in at the long run. So I would say you definitely have to love it. I would definitely say be very organized because with agencies, you're dealing with maybe like, I mean, you personally yourself might be ranging from like, when I first started, I had 3 clients. Now I'm running, I think I have about like 8 clients now that I have to cover. So I went from 3 to 8. So definitely be organized. So I would say that's the most important thing. And for sure, read a lot. It's very important because you'll need to be able to have that good ability to have good attention to detail. So that's always important. And that helps build your knowledge and your skills through reading. But yeah.
I like that advice.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people say read.
Yeah. And there's so much to learn and everything changes constantly. There's always something to read about and learn about for sure.
Yeah. That's sort of why I mean, there's multiple reasons why I came into this industry, but I think the most important thing is I love to teach for one thing. I feel like my job is a little bit of teaching, but I also love to learn. Like I said, that's why I've been through so many different industries because each one was interesting. Working with government people, working with technology people. I worked with a threat researcher, a whole nother thing.
I bet.
you learn some interesting things about the internet through there. But yeah, I just love learning. So I think that also helps too, to want to learn. So yeah, that'd be my advice.
That's awesome. So we always ask, the last question is for you to give a shout out to a badass babe in your world that has helped lift you up and elevate you on your journey.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, that's a tough one. I've come across so many good people. I'm like trying to think in my head who would be like the most important or the most influential person I think that I've crossed through in my life. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the first thing that's coming to my head is my mother.
Of course.
I mean, I'm like trying to think of like somebody else but my mother. I really like feel like I did a lot of what I did for her, and I continue to do things for her. But besides that, I would have to say my boss. My boss is really a badass.
Current boss?
Current boss, yes. Current boss. She's a badass babe. I definitely have to give her a shout out. Jordan Palace, yeah. So
Aww.
I like that. That's very cool. A lot of people can't say that they love their boss that much.
Yeah, that is very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely been right by my side. She's the one that believed in me for sure, had a lot of faith in me. Because I'll be honest, I wasn't sure if I could be in this industry because I'd done so many different things, but none of them had been entertainment. So she kind of took a chance on me and had a lot of faith in me, and I appreciate that about her. So definitely want to give her a shout out because she decided to say yes to this little wide-eyed, curious girl a couple months ago. And it's been a ride ever since.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's awesome. And we're so happy that you're happy being here in California, in Burbank, and that you're loving your journey here. And
we'll have to get together.
We definitely have to, for sure.
Yes. I would love to, for sure. I'd like being out
Awesome.
here, and I love meeting people. So yes, let's do it.
Awesome.
Right. We will be in touch. We will schedule something, and we'll either do lunch or brunch or something fun.
Yes, and I'd love to be on this podcast again. You guys are really great. I love these questions. I love to
and
help
maybe even bring your boss next time.
Yeah.
Sure.
A whole bunch of badasses. I like
a
it.
whole bunch of badasses.
Yeah.
There's so many
That's
of
so
them.
cool. Well, thank you so much. So nice meeting you, Joelle.
Yes, Joelle,
Yes.
so nice to meet you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for being on the Badass Babes of Entertainment.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Our show sponsor today is Roasted Luxury. And this coffee is so freaking good. I can't even begin to tell you. You'll never have to leave home again for coffee. And it's organic, fair trade, and small business, which you know we love. This is a good thing. They offer honey processed coffee, which means that the coffee is naturally sweeter. So you badass babes can add less sugar and have that second or third cup without the guilt, which we also love. Go to roastedluxury.com and use promo code BABES15 for 15% off your entire order. And you can feel good about helping a local business person who is also a badass babe. Yes. So thanks so much to Roasted Luxury for being our very first sponsor on Badass Babes of Entertainment. Hey guys, welcome to the Badass Babes of Entertainment. And we went to Malibu for a really cool event called Meet in Malibu. And we had a lot of fun interviewing some amazing badass babes out there and finding out some really interesting things about people that we met for the first time. Check it out. So we're the Badass Babes of Entertainment. I'm Brenda.
And I'm Tara Newell.
And we are here with Stella Leo.
Stylishly Stella.
Stylishly
You got it.
Stella, okay.
Yes, so stylishlystella.com. You can find me at Stylishly Stella.
and it's just about celebrating the everyday in style.
I love it. And then you have a daughter with you on your blog. And
Yes.
You guys travel many places and everything.
Yes, she is my mini me. She's 9 years old. Her name is Juliet, and she, is my partner in crime, and she goes everywhere with me.
I love that. Where have been some of the places that you traveled to where you're just like, wow, this is an amazing place to bring your kid?
I would say Bali was pretty exotic for her, and because it was such an affordable place to travel, we had, the villa and this amazing pool, and she just has such amazing memories of her walking around the rice paddies out there, and it was really incredible. But she's been all over Asia and Europe mostly.
Wow, that is amazing. So you were talking about wanting to put some parties together, and we were talking about kind of a Coachella for kids. I thought that was so great.
Yes, I've done several different themed parties. I love celebrating the everyday, whether it's a holiday or a new season or whatever theme we can come up with. But Coachella is going to be in the works sometime, maybe the next year, we'll see. Right now I've got July 4th in the works. We just finished up a red carpet Oscars party.
Oh, wow.
For kids. And it's been one party after another. We just don't stop.
Okay. And so the Coachella, what kind of stuff would you have at the Coachella event?
Well, that one, it has not been fully thought out yet. It's just been kind of a name that has been stuck in my head, and I'm kind of envisioning everything from mini music concerts for kids and all of the guests dressing up in boho chic with a lot of boho chic decor. There'll be like a mini concert,
I love
mommy and
that.
me picnic play date.
I love that. That sounds so much fun. I would want a kid just to bring it to that concert.
I'll let you know when the date is, and then you can work on that.
Yeah, I'll work on that.
All right, so what is the funniest thing that you've seen a kid do at one of these parties?
Well, at my recent Oscars red carpet party, I gave makeup palettes to all the little girls to get ready for their red carpet moment, and my daughter took the liberty to create a smoky eye look. I turned around for a minute and then came back to a panda. She had like an entire black eye, fully from the eyebrow all the way down to her mid-cheek.
Nice.
And I was like, wow, that's a really creative smoky eye, but you just never know what kids will come up with.
Yeah, she definitely leaned into that one.
Yes.
It might be a trend later, too.
Never know,
Yes.
never know.
It could be worse. She could have been cutting her own bangs or, something crazy. We used to do that as kids all the time.
Yeah. I
Get
know
the
I cut
scissors
my
off.
bangs up to here.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like you fully recovered from that one.
Thank goodness.
I know that this is, such a great event, all about women, and there's so many fabulous badass babes here today. We always have our guests do a shout out to a badass babe in their world that has helped lift them up and inspire them. And if you had to do a shout out, who would you pick?
Oh, that's a great question. I can't say that I've had any female mentors in any formal way, but I have had a very good dear friend named Hope McGrath. She is somebody I consider kind of like a work wife. As we were both building our brands, we worked side by side on totally different topics. She's more of a health coach, and so we kind of supported and uplifted each other, and we're really there every step of the way, including helping to volunteer at one of each other's events, to simply hearing out all of each other's struggles and giving advice along the way. So I would say shout out to my friend Hope.
Oh, that's so nice.
I love that.
Shout out to Hope. So when you're doing these events for kids, is it mainly moms that are coming out to these events with their kids, or do you ever see any dads?
Well, we have mainly just done the Mommy and Me events. When I was in Manhattan, they were open to the public, open to my following, and some of them were ticketed, and every single one was sponsored. So it was similar to this. There would be sponsored booths, but it was typically during the day, so it really drew out the moms more than the dads. A few times we had some dads come in, but yeah, they were welcome. It was primarily a female event, though, I have to say. And yeah.
Well, we do like a good themed event, and, any excuse to hang out with the kids, it's always the best. I know my son was my mini-me. It still is, really, but he's a grown man now, so, but I remember those times, just having those moments with your kids and, really just playing and having fun with them, and it's something that you'll remember forever.
Yeah, and I think that the need that I kind of filled during that period was having something to look forward to and creating a special event where moms could both network and meet people of the same kind and in the same stage, and have a reason to dress up and just, be able to get together in a cooler setting than your local jamboree where it was constantly baby shark.
Right. Yes. That was the first thing I thought of, because that is everywhere, the baby shark.
Yes.
Yes. And we wanted a little bit more upscale now, than jamboree.
Than jamboree. Make it a little bit, more fun, and the whole dress up thing, I love that.
I love a good fashion challenge.
Oh,
We've done
yeah.
the white party as well. And so, we encouraged all of the moms and their kids to deck out to the nines in white and accessorize themselves. And there was always, a lot of photo ops and cute, memorable moments.
And how long does the white actually last on the kids during the party before it's a completely different color?
Good question. Well, I would make sure that the activations were kid-friendly. So sometimes we would have like a sugar cookie making station, but the frosting was always white.
Smart.
Yes, and then the frosting and sprinkles would be very light colored, like golds and silvers and a lot of whites, just to prevent any major accidents. And then we would serve white drinks just to be on the safe side. So yes, I did think of all of that. But
yes.
Good point.
I like that. Yeah.
That's really smart. Very well thought out. Absolutely. So what else would you like to tell us about your blog and about your programs? And also we want to know about all of your social media and how we follow you.
Sure, it's very easy to follow me anywhere: Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Like to Know It, or Instagram, which is where I post daily. It's at Stylishly Stella. And I'm all about celebrating the everyday, so you'll find daily inspiration for family travel with tips. You'll find fashion inspiration. We love a good mommy and me look. And, just a lot of fun Instagrammable moments throughout the world. So it's a very colorful profile. It's a lot of fun, and it's very family friendly.
That's amazing. And then one more question. I know we talked a little bit about the fact that you travel a lot. Your daughter has been to how many countries?
25 in 6 years.
Wow.
We had to cut that short because of lockdown, but we're still at 25.
25, and she's 9 years old.
That's
yes,
amazing.
yes.
Most people don't do that in their entire lifetime, and she's done that by 9.
True.
That is amazing.
We
So-
were ambitious and sometimes a little foolish in thinking that we could take her to, say, like 5 cities in Italy in 3 weeks, through very old ancient cities like Rome and Venice, where there were no diaper changing stations, and you
How fun.
Yeah.
carry the stroller up the Venice canals 50 times a day.
Oh my gosh.
Don't advise that for any
No.
parents.
Oh.
That was in the beginning when we did not know better.
Well, you got your workout, for sure.
We got our workouts, and luckily we had a very easy temperament child, I should
Yeah.
say, who made the experience, worthwhile.
Oh, that's amazing. And you said we, so your partner, are they involved anyway in what you do with your parties, or is it just more when you travel?
He puts up with the parties, let's say that. But he is a great travel partner in the sense that he pretty much takes over the itinerary planning process. And so typically when we travel, I have no idea where we're going at what time, but he doesn't know what he's wearing and what's in his suitcase, because I packed for all of us and he's taking care of the itinerary, and that's how we kind of split our roles.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
Yes.
Teamwork makes the dream work. I knew we got to say that together.
God bless.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Stella, for coming and talking to us. This is amazing. We loved
Yeah,
learning
thank you.
about new things, and what you're doing just sounds very inspirational and fun.
Well, you too. It was such an honor to be here and meet you both.
Yes.
Thank you so
awesome.
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming.
Welcome to the Badass Babes of Entertainment. I'm Brenda Fisher.
And I'm Tara Newell.
And we're here with Christina McGinnis. And we're going to have her introduce herself because she literally does everything.
Well, I'm so excited. Thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely.
I know,
Yeah.
it's so pretty today. This is like the most beautiful day in Malibu. I know you guys can't see it, but it's so pretty out here. A little bit about me. So I'm Christina McGinnis. I'm a host of the Bottle Blonde podcast where we talk booze, boys, business, and beauty. And I have an agency, digital marketing agency, where we do SEO, SEM, social media management, influencers. It's really full service. And then I also am an influencer, and that's kind of how my whole journey started.
I love it. Do you do makeup? Because I'm like, your makeup is amazing today, and if you're not doing makeup influencing, you should.
Well, thank you. I've been doing some skincare stuff. I've always been scared to like do makeup because I feel like the filming of it is like crazy, but thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't do a ton of makeup, but some of my friends are like, you have to start.
I love it. Well, what are some of the brands that you work with and stuff?
So for kind of each business, it's different.
Okay.
The podcast, we've worked with a ton of like makeup, beauty, booze brands, dating brands, because we talk about dating on there too. The agency we've worked with, which is like KCM Connect. I don't think I said the actual name, but we've worked with, I'm trying to think, we've worked with Pixie, we've worked with Neutrogena, we've worked with Rare Beauty, so a lot of beauty companies. And then my personal, I've worked with, like, I am trying to think of some of the biggest names. I worked with Coach, and we shot in Turks and Caicos last year.
Oh, wow.
So that was
amazing.
pretty crazy. I've worked with Pretty Little Thing. I've worked with a lot. I feel like over the years, too, you end up compiling. Like, I had to redo my media kit, and it's like, I think I've worked with over 100 brands at this point.
Oh, wow. Have you worked with Revolve?
Yes, I have.
Okay,
Mhm,
I'm
yeah.
like, yes, I saw you post a picture of Revolve Fest.
Yes.
How
mhm.
was that?
Okay, I didn't end up actually going, but I have heard of all of the things. What was funny is I didn't actually get invited to Revolve Fest. I became an ambassador afterwards, but they've like sent me clothes and stuff before. But we just decided, I'd never been to Coachella. That was my first Coachella ever. So I was like, you know what, let's just do all the side parties. And my boyfriend, born, raised LA, he was like, I've never done the side parties. And he's gone to Coachella like 10 times. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do it that way. But I wore some Revolve stuff, and I love their clothes.
I just love them so much. But I heard there was a little controversy over the party.
Yeah, well, my thing is if you're hosting a party, AKA, and it is going to be sunny outside, we're sitting underneath umbrellas.
Yeah.
Like, it needs to be tented, and there needs to be water. And I think that was like the biggest thing, but they should know that. They put on like so many events at this point in time. You should know, you should have water, you should have like adequate standing area, and you shouldn't have buses making people wait 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
my gosh, yeah.
Because their capacity issue, I have like a really good friend who actually put on the event, so
Okay.
she knew all the back end, and like it was way overbooked.
Oh, okay.
Like they had over invited way too many people. And that's really what it came down to.
Yeah, they probably didn't think that many people would show up. And
Exactly.
then they're surprised, like, oops.
Yeah, 100%. Have you guys gone to Coachella before?
She has.
No, I've never
Stagecoach.
been.
Okay.
Stagecoach.
Okay.
I'm a Stagecoach girl.
Okay, love.
But I'll go to like the, Revolve Fest if I get a ticket. And I
Yeah.
did have a ticket this year, but I just was booked with dog sitting and stuff because I do that on the side.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Thank you. So I wanted to go, and then I heard everything, and then I was like, okay, thank
Happy?
goodness I didn't go because I would have been stressed out.
Yeah.
Waiting for that bus.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, yeah. I did have friends that went, and it was like a really mixed bag of reviews. Some people like loved it and said it was so much fun, and other people were like, why the hell didn't we just go to Coachella? So I feel like it's your group too.
Right.
Yes. Well, and I know Elizabeth Vargas, she had a party out there, and there was a lot of just like influencer parties.
There's
which
a
were fun.
ton, which I didn't realize. Like weekend one is like, okay, if you guys are going to Coachella, weekend one is like the weekend to go. That's when all the parties are. But then weekend two is like more chill because there's not a lot of parties outside of it, and it's more about like the music. So in a
Okay.
dream world, if you had like unlimited money, I would go like weekend one just for the parties, and weekend two actually go to Coachella.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I like that.
So how did you get started in this world of influencing?
It actually started in high school. So I had wanted to become a blogger, and my friend built me out a blog, and then I realized I had no idea how to run it. So I was like, wow, we should have figured this out ahead of time. Then I went to OSU, which is Oregon State University, and I actually got reached out by a company that was in New York and had like seen my Instagram and was like, hey, we'd love if you were to blog for us. It's called College Fashionista.
Okay.
They're partnered up with Her Campus, so that might be like a little bit more familiar for you guys. I started working with them. I did social media for them. I blogged for them. And then I got picked up by 2 other companies to start running their social, start blogging for them. I was like, you know what? Wow, like I could do this. And simultaneously, I worked for our fashion and lifestyle magazine at the school. So I was like the women's editor. So it was pretty crazy in college. I was working with brands like Wild Fang and MAC, like to style our photo shoots, which I didn't realize how crazy that was at the time.
Yeah.
And they got like over 1 million views, and they were like a college magazine.
Oh, wow.
And that's really how I started. I ended up one day, we call it, can I cuss on here?
Yes.
Oh, okay. We call it hit it and fuck it button. And one of my girlfriends was like, hey, you should do this. Why don't you do this? And I was like, well, I don't know how to blog. I like started a blog, but I didn't know the back end. And she's like, screw all of that. She's like, figure it out, YouTube it. So literally that night, we were like drinking wine on her bed, and I opened up Wix and like built a site.
I love that.
Yeah, and that's really kind of how it all started. And then the agency came, and then the podcast came. So it was like kind of built on each other, but now I still do everything. So I still do like all the influencer stuff, but it's super fun.
I love that.
Awesome. That's so great. Where are you from originally?
Portland, Oregon.
Oh, you are from Portland.
Yeah.
I grew up in Washington State. So
No
when you said
way!
OSU, I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
we're neighbors.
Where in Washington?
Yakima.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, so not too far from you. Only takes, I think, 5 hours from
Yeah.
Yakima to get to you. And in terms of, people from California, like 5 hours to drive. Wait, what? That's far. That's like San Francisco.
Not really in Oregon though, or like Washington.
Oregon
It's
and
like,
Washington,
yeah.
it's 3 hours to anywhere good, normally anyway. So a couple more hours,
Amazing.
like nothing.
When'd you move out here?
Oh gosh, I've kind of been all over the U.S., but we've been in LA for almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years
Oh my
July.
goodness, that's amazing.
Yeah, I
I'm
love it
like
here.
I'm almost 2 years. August will be my 2-year anniversary.
And you love it here?
I love it.
Yeah. You seem like a California girl, like you belong here. So
Thank you. I love the sun. I'm like, you can't beat it. Especially in Oregon and Washington, people like really don't get it unless you live there, how rainy it is and like how that like really affects your mental health.
it's depressing.
But-
It's gray a lot.
Yeah. And it's not like you can like go walk outside in the park. It's like pouring or hailing
Or the wind.
or the wind.
Oh,
It's
the wind.
it's like every single day. People didn't like really get it until I brought some of my friends home, and I'm like, no, we dress for like all seasons, like put all seasons in your car. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you need a rain jacket, you need a sweatshirt, you could potentially need a tank top.
Yeah.
Like, and it's all
Just
one
depends,
day.
yeah.
Just depends.
Yeah, it's wild there for sure. So one of the things that we do on our podcast is that we ask you to do a shout out to a badass babe in your world that has helped inspire you and lift you up.
Ooh, I would say my friend Libby. She also works for my agency, but she's amazing. She's done like brand marketing and copywriting for Cheez-It, the MLB. She just launched, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Makeup by Mario.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But she was the one who actually came up with the idea for the Foreplay palette. So she's just amazing. She's killing it, and I love her so much. She's super just like positive, creative, and so grateful for her.
I love that.
That's so cool. So when you were going to college, did you think that this is what you're going to end up doing?
I knew. It
Yeah.
was like very interesting. I went for merchandising management and business entrepreneurship, and I knew like pretty early on, like my parents are both entrepreneurs, and so I had always like loved business, but I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. So yeah, I kind of always knew. And I just had a feeling. I knew
Yeah.
that like social media was it, and it hadn't really hit at that point in time. So I was like, hey, I want to like tap into this, see what I'm good at. And that's really, I was like a social media manager way before it was cool. And
Wow.
like nobody realized what that was. And people are like, what do you mean you run people's social media? I'm like, well, who's going to run their Instagram? And my parents, when I first had like the idea, were like, what the hell are you doing? And now they're like, okay, can you run ours?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Exactly, right? It's like, oh, I like that. That is amazing. Do you ever teach other people how to do what you do?
We do coaching, but it's super limited. I have to like really, because I do like Zoom coaching calls, like either sometimes it'll be with like business owners or influencers. But I'll do coaching where we'll like walk through things. Kind of depends on the company or the person. But yeah, it's very rare though, because the person has to really be dedicated, because there's a lot of like coaches,
right?
And they can like give you all the tools, but if you're not actually going to implement them, I don't want to meet with someone like once a month or every few weeks who like isn't actually putting in the work,
right?
Because then it's like, why are we here?
Why are you doing exactly? Yeah. So did you check out our social media before you came on?
I did.
So what do you think?
I like the branding.
Yeah?
Yeah, I thought it was super cute. Yeah, and too, I love to support other podcasters. I feel like there's not a lot of that happens in like the YouTube space, but I feel like the podcasting space and like now Instagram too, there's just a lot more collaboration, and that's what I love.
Definitely.
I feel like podcasting brings a lot of like just interesting people together that you would never imagine. And you end up making like really good friends with people. Like there's a few girls who have been on my podcast when I was back in Portland, and now we're super good friends and we hang out all the time. There's a few girls, we did like a podcast swap and they flew out and stayed down here. So it's really fun, like the relationships that you would make, especially podcasting, because all you're doing is like talking and seeing people's vibes and their energy, and yeah, it's been awesome.
I love that.
That's awesome. Yeah. We're going to have a party at some point, so we'll definitely have to invite you.
Yes, please.
To come out. Big networking events. And
that'd be super fun. Is it going to be like all podcasters or like?
You know, it's going to be a little bit of everybody. We're going to have people that have been on our podcast. We'll have people that are podcasters, are in casting, directors, producers, a little bit of everybody in the industry, because I think it's always great, you know, to meet new people that you might not run into in your everyday life, or you're thinking about, you know, I need help with this, but I don't know who to ask. And you know, what better place to meet than at a networking event, you know, of trusted, you know, advisors and associates. I think that's amazing.
That's amazing. That's so awesome. And I feel like people like just meeting in real life via Instagram is great too. But having like all, like, especially like Modern Day Wife too, you get like a little bit of everything. Yeah. There's like a little bit of everyone here, which I feel like that's what makes it fun.
I think it's very cool. And I'm going to definitely check out all your stuff too. I know that Tara did a deep dive yesterday.
Oh yeah, I followed your socials, everything, and that's why I know you went to Revolve Fest and whatnot.
Just checking you out too.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And I was like, you look like someone I could be friends with.
Oh, I love that. How long have you guys been doing the podcast?
We have been doing it since right about the beginning of, well, actually it was 2020, I believe, that we started the planning of it, and then I think our first episode came out January 2021.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Yeah, so just, you know, just into our second year.
What was your moment that kind of like sparked wanting to make the podcast?
Well, you know, the biggest thing is that networking with other women in the industry and trying to help each other connect and collaborate more, because men seem to do it so seamlessly and it just comes natural to them.
Yeah.
And it's harder for us, I think, because sometimes we feel intimidated by another woman, or you feel like they're going to be competitive with you, or, you know, they're not going to like you, or whatever it might be, you know, because of the fact that we question ourselves so much.
Yeah.
And where I just don't think men even think
they
that
don't even
about.
think
They
about
don't
that.
go that deep.
No, they
You
don't
know,
go
they
that
just
deep.
don't.
They're like, hi, my name's Todd and I'm in marketing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they're like, great, let's exchange cards.
Let's get a drink and play football.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and where we, you know, think a million different things before we even get to hi, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to do that. We need to just say, you know what? I'm going to introduce myself. We're going to be friends, and we're going to help each other, and we're going to collaborate and lift each other up. And that's really where this podcast kind of came from and has morphed into kind of a bigger thing because of it. And, you know, we network with a lot of people in the true crime space because that's very women-centric. You know, we like to know about true crime because I think we're all trying not to get murdered. So, you know.
All the things. Yeah. I do have a little starter kit if you guys are interested in that.
Yes.
My mom gave me when I took like a solo trip out to New York. She got me this like little kind of wedge that you stick in a door, and you like set it, like you kind of set it, and if somebody hits the door, like tries to open it, it'll go off, and it literally sounds like a freaking like super loud alarm.
Wow.
So that's like a good one, especially if you're like alone, like business trip, or like maybe you're going to see people and you have like a few days in between.
Yeah.
I have that. And then I also have a pen, but it's not with me. It's one of those pens, the smashing pens. So you can like cut your seatbelt or like smash a window.
Or jab someone in the neck.
Literally.
Or in the
if
eye.
you need
Yeah,
to.
or the eye.
Yeah. So there's all of that.
eye.
Those are good. I feel like my thing is with like, my parents bought me like pepper spray. I've like never used it. And also like, don't you feel like you should practice that? Like that, you know.
You know, and nobody wants to volunteer for that, you know?
No,
to
exactly.
be
To be pepper spray. I have no one to practice on. If anybody would like to be practiced on, totally let me know.
Yes.
Slide into her DMs.
I know.
We're going to get some weirdos in there. They're like, please.
Hey, pepper spray me in the face, please.
And when I carry my taser around, I always ask my son, hey, you want me to try it out? And he's like, sure. And I'm like, I wouldn't do that to you.
Oh my gosh, I'd be so scared.
That seems like a good time to me.
You're like, whoa.
Maybe that's a party we should have.
There you go. Tase them.
Tase 'em.
Everybody
Tase 'em
brings
and
their
spray 'em.
man.
Yeah.
They just don't know what they're signing up for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys are helping out to, you know, keep us safe. That's what it is. Volunteering for it. So, well, awesome. Thank you so much. It's been this is so much fun. And knowing about what you're doing, and just, my gosh, you're busy. And I think it's so great that you have an agency, and, you know, you're doing all the social media things. I think a lot of people could learn a lot from you. So, and good for you for following your dream and making it happen.
Thank you. You guys too. I know it takes a lot to put up podcasts every week. So like, pat yourselves on the back, because it's a lot between like the audio editing and the social and like getting guests. Like, people don't realize like the back end booking is a lot.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Even just to get people on, coordinate schedules, whether it's Zoom, in person. So you guys should be really proud of yourselves.
Oh, thank you. You're the sweetest. All right. Well, Christina McGinnis, thank you so much. And we hope to see you soon.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
This episode was produced by me, Megan Ketz.
And me, Brenda Fisher.
Thanks to our Grammy-nominated sound engineer, Herman Villacorta. We have another amazing guest next week, so be sure to listen. If there's a topic you would like us to cover, message us on Instagram at Babes of Entertainment, also on Facebook, Babes of Entertainment, and on Twitter, Babe_podcast.
And now TikTok, Babes of Entertainment on TikTok. Woo, woo, woo. This podcast was produced by RSA Entertainment and Rogue Matter. Join the movement. Go Rogue.
Bad girl with a good heart. Lost boy got a fresh start. And she's my gasoline.